Alright, let's get some different music. Let's get some Elwyn Forest going. That's better. Much better. Get some Elwyn Forest going. A bit loud. A bit loud. Alright, I'm just posting on X so that everyone knows. I'm trying to make sure I promote, but I'm like, hey, you know, I'm streaming. Because it works out better. I think I get better views straight away. Like, straight away, more people are already popping in like, within, like, minutes. So, I find posting on X works a lot better. So, yes, I don't know how long this stream's going to go for. I would like to keep it brief. This is a very early stream for me. I mean, this is like 8 p.m. So this is perfect time. But for Americans, it might not be the best time. So, but I want to get this stream out. I debated on doing a video. I actually did just record a video, and I'm not really happy with it. So, I don't know. We're going to do a stream first, and I'll think about the video. I might just do the stream and then just leave it at that. But we're going to talk about REV. I talked about last night. Did I not say last night this was going to explode? Did I not say it? Did I not say it? Can I goon to you? Yes, you're allowed to goon. Goon away. This is a goon-friendly zone. We don't force Christian values over here. We don't force religious values. Our religion is goon-free. We are the goon religion. The gooners. Rise up. Is weird to see. I had to put it in the wash. I got a haircut. So it's all got hair over it. Because I generally just wear my pajamas. So I had to change the shirt. I need to change the shirts more often, but I don't really go out much, so I don't really need to change because I don't get dirty. So it's like, I stay mostly clean because I'm in my clean house because I keep the house clean. I know I'm not Asmongold bad, but it can be a little bit bad. But I've got a lot of tweets to go over, a lot. This is gonna be a, it's gonna be a bulky stream. Not gonna lie, it's kinda is sad to be honest, since REV is the reason I'm okay with a lot of... Here's the thing, and I made a tweet about this. There are a lot of content creators right now that are DMing me. Is that Momo? Yes, it's Momo. Oh, let me get up. See? I like it, it's good. I've got 3 of them. I've got a Demon Slayer, Freeren, and this one. And then I've got like a Zelda shirt that I wear. I wear that to karate because it's a light shirt. It's white as well, because my gi is white. I could probably show it. It's in the other room, but I said a tweet today. I said there are a lot of content creators, and I mean a lot, that have DM'd me in the last 24 hours that have said to me, pretty much, you are a prophet. They've literally said, they just said, you're a prophet. It's not, dude, I can't even help having an ego at this point. I generally cannot help not having an ego because people are just outright coming to me and saying, you are a prophet. You predicted this a year ago, that this exact scenario would happen for REV. And I was like, yeah. Because I'm not stupid. I can see the writing on the wall. I can predict a year in advance. At this point, I might need to be taken down. I'm getting too powerful. People don't believe me. Where is it? Congrats on opening your photo. It's not a good gift sometimes. It's just, yeah. Just checking a couple more tweets. But yeah, there's not as many people defending Rev and Straub right now. There's a lot of people that are like, hey, why is Straub saying so many different things? Are you going to watch the video of the professional where he gives his opinion on Australian new law requires digital ID to play GTA? I did watch it off stream. I'm not sure if I made a video on it myself. I probably maybe should if I haven't. But it's one of those where, yeah, there's a lot of other people covering it. The Buttsman's been covering it non-stop, so I've been kind of... Sometimes I'll see something, I'll be like, okay, everyone's covering it. Do I need to cover it? But maybe I probably should cover it as well. But it's just one of those, yeah. I'm trying to get back into doing more anime content, but then it's like all this other stuff on this channel as well. So I'm trying to balance both. But yeah, it's... Oh my god. Here's the thing. Rev's tweet actually is like... Right? Rev's tweet here, it makes sense, right? And this is where a lot of people go to. So it goes, you know, since apparently this has been said, I'm not really going to read it all, but you can read it yourself. But Rev's stance here makes sense to a degree, right? I have said nothing to the contrary. Things could have been worded more clearly from Straub. Yeah, except for the fact she's contradicted herself like 3 times. And then she has actively lied about what she has said and then attacked people for only using her words and asking for clarification. This is the part that frustrates me, is that they're trying to use the same tactic that the left does, where it's like, oh, well, actually, you're not reading what we're saying properly. And it's like, no, Rev has been very clear on her stance. And she has said things that very go contradictory to what you have said, Rev. Very contradictory. This entire conversation seemed to stress her out a lot, and she's admitted to not handling it the best way. But she never said that publicly, though. Really, she's never really come out, and instead she's just attacked people. This drama must be on Twitter. Yes, because here's the thing: Straub did a collaboration with another content creator, and this is my original tweet, which everyone's sharing around now. It's kind of funny. The original tweet I made, I originally deleted because, again, Reb's fans were just attacking me for just, again, questioning. And that's the funny thing about it. Straub is the one complaining that everyone was attacking her. I was the one actually being attacked at the start because I made the original tweet asking a question and saying, hey, what are people's thoughts on this? And of course, the hard right, the Christian group, and his little community instantly attacked me and started accusing me of saying things that I never said. And you want to know who actually knows that? Simon does, who stalks me and Rev. Oh, yes, I did see the daylight thing. I'm going to cover that tonight. Don't stress. I'm going to do a video on that on tonight. The daylight thing I will cover. Don't stress. But yeah, this tweet here, or not this tweet, that comment in that video is Straub's in one of those videos. So naturally, people were asking for clarification. And so, naturally, she's gone on this massive bender. She won't directly answer questions. She's blocking people. She's lying about people, saying that they defamed her, that she's been attacked, and all these things. And it's like, okay, Straub, why are you lying? Why are you lying about other people? And then getting really petty about it as well, with this whole, like, you have also followed and unfollowed me 1,000,000 times in the past. I recognize you. It just sounds so petty. Right? I do it from time to time as well, where I call people out that have, you know, sniveled up to me and that kind of stuff. But you have directly lied and said they've defamed me and lied about why I blocked her. Well, again, she was simply just asking a question and simply blocked for asking a question, which, by the way, she clarifies what she said that you claim was hurtful. And this whole, I believe she thinks me saying it's a yes or no answer is rude, which I agree is a step rude. I don't agree with that. I think being direct and asking for a yes or no answer is not rude at all. I don't. I'm an Australian. I live in a culture where we are very direct, very blunt. We ask direct questions and we like results. I get Americans, and yes, I'm going to upset Americans. I get that some of you like to be all, oh, my feelings, I don't like being questioned, and being direct. Because this is the thing, Rev. You love being direct and confrontational with people. You do it, you've done it for years. But now people want a direct answer. Now suddenly everyone's the villain. Now everyone's the bad guy. I'm sorry, this is a victim complex that Slop has notoriously been part of for many, many, many years. She has notoriously done this. So you want to play the same tactic of dragging up the past? Okay, Slop is known for deliberately deceiving people in how things have been presented, running to you, Rev, as a scapegoat and getting you to directly attack people on her behest. So whenever you question her, you get people to attack. Or she gets you to attack them. That's not really fair, is it? Because she loves to get on the internet, she loves to make her own channel and talk about Christianity, her religious views, religious this, Christianity this, preach. But then when directly asked about her stance on things, she suddenly buckles, she suddenly blocks, and then she suddenly plays the victim complex. Sorry, Rev. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to preach and talk down on all of us and then go running behind a wall and block people when questions are directly asked to you in clarification. Because this directly affects your reputation, Rev. This directly affects how you are perceived as someone who has called out censorship, has defended lolicon-based content, and both you and Slop have said that lolicon does not directly mean the word corn. So then, to go about this in the way that you've been behaving is a direct contradiction. Because again, the word lolicon does not directly mean corn. But it seems to be over the last year, Rev, you have distanced yourself from the community. You no longer call out censorship being called by certain people on particularly the right. So you're almost scared to criticize your own side and your own friend circle, which is something you have been criticized for, Rev. You have actively made sure to steer away from this conversation. So for someone that says that you are against censorship, you have made sure to stay away from the conversation of censorship and calling out censorship, especially from people in your own inner circle. Instead, you just obsess over Hassan. Hassan. A little bit coincidental, if you ask me. Some could argue that you are just now deliberately ignoring the conversation of censorship because you are kind of a little bit more pro on it, which, might I add, Slop has made tweets basically kind of pushing for that. I'm a big advocate for free speech and I don't want tons of censorship everywhere. However, I think porn is very bad and that it is my belief that consuming it is wrong and hurts everyone. So you are somewhat a bit more pro on the censorship. And now people say, well, that's her stance. Again, her stance is clearly where he's going to lean as well. I don't get why people here are justifying themselves for liking cartoons. I don't get why people have to just... Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's stupid. But the problem is that both of these individuals have been very, very defending of the lolicon and going against censorship. But now suddenly there is a heavy pivot from both of them. And I know Rev has deliberately tried to steer away from this conversation for over a year, because I believe that he knows that if he came out and said how he really feels, he would be absolutely cooked by his own community. And people are reading between the lines what he has said, what she has said, which again, she has spoken on his behest and has said multiple contradictory things. She has lied about individuals. And on top of that, she has lied about what she has said, saying you people unable to read, I said porn is sinful and therefore bad and doesn't matter what kind of porn it is, which, by the way, define the definition of porn. Porn is a sexual arousal. All right, cool. But that would also classify high school DxD as that. Data Live would be classified as that. Do you know some people would classify free rent in that category? Any form of fan service would be classified as a form of softcore porn. So again, most of anime is full of some form of fan service. Anime has actively got fan service in it. It's actively got lolly characters in it. The anime culture is very built on the fundations of fan service, tropes, and lolly-based characters. Rev knows this. He's stated these kinds of things over the years. So why now suddenly these sharp pivots? And you say that you said, I said porn is sinful. No, Straub, you didn't. I don't think either me or Rev think lolicon is good. That's not what you said, Straub. You said something completely different. So again, she is saying one thing, he is saying another thing, and they are both lying to cover each other's tracks. And Rev basically says, oh no, she didn't say that, but actually she did say that. I think there's a place for campaigning against lolly medium as a moral stance, but I disagree about a hard ban type. The thing is, the word lolly is a very broad word, right? It is very broad. And I would use... there's an image I actually keep up deliberately for this specific situation. So I use this situation here. Lolly has a lot of different forms to it. And a lot of people argue that this isn't a very fair comparison because, again, there's true lollies, opal lollies, legal lollies, golf lollies, lollies, etc., right? There's all these different forms of lollies. So to say lollies are bad, I don't really feel like free range should be in there, but I kind of agree with some people saying that. But the thing is the word lolly is very broad, right? Like Roxy from Mushoku Tensei is a lolly. So are we going to remove that character? Rev knows this. He should know this. But Rev, for some reason, is deliberately now sort of ignoring the writing on the wall and kind of, I don't know, walking around this conversation because I think he's a little bit scared that it's going to come back to bite him on the ass. There's a very big problem with the Christians or any religion. I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing more Puritans and religious zealots. I actually somewhat agree. I'm getting really sick to death of these Christians now starting to try and infect the anime community now that the left is not in a particularly good light because of all the activism and all the parading and censorship and, like I said, changing of certain translations. Now that there's that sort of pushback on them, the right has suddenly decided, well, now we're going to enter in the anime community and now we're going to push for censorship. So now we've got to deal with the left and the right actively pushing for censorship. This is a very big... I agree with you. It is a matter of normalization of borderline. When you don't normalize, it keeps... And again, I'm not the biggest fan of lolly-based content, right? I'm not a lolly... I'm not into lollies that... there's a couple of characters I like, right? I like Hestia. Hestia is a lolly. I like Roxy. She's a lolly character, right? There's some characters I like that are lolly-based, but I'm not a lolly consumer. You're not going to sit there and see me posting lollies. I like MILFs, right? I like my big MILFy juggalogs, right? I like, my big juicies. But the problem that I have is that when they push for this whole lolly stuff is problematic, it just feels like a gateway for them to just actively push for censorship. And Rev, even though he's saying he's against censorship, he's kind of opening the door for everyone else to kind of come in and push for censorship now. And that's when I'm getting irritated, because it feels like Rev, actions speak louder than words. Rev is saying one thing, Straub is saying 3 other different things, and then Rev's doing something completely different. It's like that whole situation oh, well, I'm against censorship, but by the way, I'm going to let all my friends actively defend censorship and push for censorship. It's okay, so you have a friends group of content creators, you're saying you're against censorship, your friends are saying they're for censorship, but you're not criticizing them because you don't want to upset your friends group, so you're going to let them push the anime community around and push for censorship, and you're not going to criticize them. So at that point, the right is actively now become a hostile entity towards the anime community, because the ones that are pushing for censorship aren't being pushed back by the people that claim they're our allies now, because, oh no, well, I'm not against censorship, but I'm not going to call people out for it. So they're basically allies of the people being censorship. You got called a pred on Chibi Reviews' comment section for defending Lolly. Did I? Again, these people don't know what the word P... They don't know what the P word means. It's frustrating. The issue that I have with Rev is that it is very clear that his stance has pivoted and he's deliberately avoided having this conversation because he knows it's not going to make him look good. But also, not you. You got called it. Okay, I thought you said me. I was like, well, I'm used to that. I watched anime since the 90s, and all of them were very much shunned. The OG Dragon Ball was censored. We all still got to see all the edgy art, and we grew up fine. It's controlled edgy content. Yeah. I mean, I grew up with a lot of edgy stuff as well. I grew up with a lot of like fan service type stuff, but I turned out fine. It's all these people that have been sheltered that end up becoming weird. And here's the thing. I've been to a Christian school. You want to know the people that end up turning out the most unstable are Christians that are sheltered. They get sheltered in this bubble where they're not allowed to see anything because, Christians don't want kids to see. But the thing is that what happens is they get so bubbled their entire life that when they're shown to the real world, they freak out because they've not been somewhat sanitized to it. Like, they've not been shown it. It's like the parents haven't come by and say, here's the birds and the bees talk, right? Rev is probably afraid of making his wife angry to him. Yes, I do think that as well. Some people are saying that Rev is the iDubbbz of the right. Rev and Straw probably want to be friends with pro-censorship people. Yes. Rev is now friends with Tectone, who has actively attacked the lolicon community and implied that people in the loli community are the P word. Rev is also friends with Nux, who has also implied the same things multiple times. By the way, Nux follows me. Not that really me and Nux have really had any meaningful conversations, so I could literally just get blocked tomorrow. But I don't agree with how they approach the conversation. But Rev is no longer an ally of the lolicon community, even though he had been for years. So he has built an audience defending and being the champion of the lolicon community, and now he's no longer their ally. He's just turned their back and said, you know what, I'm not against you, I'm not your enemy, but also I'm going to let my friends absolutely attack you. He might as well be the enemy. That's like me standing there watching a kid get beaten up and saying, hey, I'm not going to attack you, I'm not going to beat you up, kid, but my friends are going to do it for me. I don't care if he says that's a bad analogy or if that's not a fair faith argument, because honestly, that is the best way to put it. You're saying you're against censorship, but you're actively allowing your own friend circle to call for censorship and attack the loli community. And then your wife is going around saying that neither of you think it's good, but then you're kind of saying other things. Again, your wife has said one thing, you have said another thing. And sure, you can argue, Rev, that you and your wife have, you're admitting that your wife didn't word herself very well and all the rest, but she's not really said that herself. She's just attacked people. She's blocked people, lied about people, and attacked people, and you've done the same. Actions speak louder than words. That is my word, that is my phrase for the night. Actions speak louder than words. Rev was the one that encouraged Straub to become religious before Straub was an atheist progressive. So what, she was left-leaning? Because she used to do ASMR content. She did used to do ASMR content. And now apparently she regrets it and she's deleted it all, which, again, this follows the same pattern that a lot of people on the right seem to do. They make explicit content that allows them to become highly profitable, highly famous, highly influential, and then suddenly they find religion and then suddenly go, oh, no, I don't agree with that anymore. I'm going to get rid of it, wipe my history, and I'm a new person. It's a common trait that I notice a lot of Christians do. They all seem to do that. And they don't... They then attack people for the very same stuff. It's just, I get what they're trying to do. You know, I'm a changed person, I change, and I get that. People change. But it just feels so convenient to me. It feels so very convenient that all of these people have done it all at the exact same time. And a lot of them are very scared to talk about it. Not just ASMR, GFE ASMR. What's GFE ASMR? I do not know what that means. Nah, it was Rev that got religious first. It was when she got into a relationship with him, she found her faith. Interesting. On a side note, guys, never been morally attached to anyone. You need your own moral standing. And that's the thing. If I date someone, I'm going to have my own stances. A girlfriend experience. Oh. 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 Well, that just makes it far more interesting, doesn't it? So she built her content off of the parasocial aspect of ASMR, and then suddenly she pivoted her content after she built it. Wow. Interesting. I know I'm going to get so much hate from Rev for this. Bro. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. I did not expect that. Because I've seen a lot of ASMR content, and a lot of it's just like, you know, cutesy licking in the thing and all that kind of stuff, and whispering, all that kind of stuff. But the whole girlfriend experience one, never heard of that before. I mean I've heard of it, but I've never heard it before. But I have heard of it in general. Big ammunition right there. Yeah, because that really shows that she very heavily lent into that content, very heavily, and then just pivoted. But this is the thing. Again, they're still profiting from it because she has built an audience on it. And now she's pivoted. And because her fans are parasocial, they're willing to give up on that because they're like, oh, well, I still like her as a content creator. Again, they're utilizing that as their own. And I mean, she's definitely grown a lot because of her association with Rev. I've seen ASMR of package opening. I mean, yeah, I've seen a lot of ASMR. I've seen the bubble wrap ASMR stuff, all kinds of stuff. I don't have a problem with people finding their faith, but I do have a problem when they convert and suddenly start calling everyone evil and policing them. I agree. I absolutely agree. Okay, bro, I have a question. What is the actual definition of LOLI? For me, LOLI is a girl who is around 13, 16 years old. I don't judge LOLI for her looks, figure, or height. I am IR8. So, I used to have a very different knowledge of what the word LOLI meant when I first got into the anime community, but based on what I've been told a million times, the definition of the LOLI is a petite. It's about body type. It doesn't have anything to do with age, but it's about having a petite body. So it's about being short, petite, thin, young looking, youthful. The problem is that some people argue that Hestia doesn't count, and I use Hestia as an example because it's one I always bring up. Hestia doesn't count as a LOLI, even though she is petite, because she has big opi. But a lot of people say, well, no, she still classifies as a LOLI because she is still petite. She just has opi. So she is an opi LOLI, which, again, in the manga, the light novel, and in the anime, Hestia is referred to as a big booby LOLI opi chick, right? You can check it yourself. So technically, and again, I will go back to the original screenshot that I had because it is a perfect frame of reference. Those are your different types. So it's more about a body type than it is about... it's more about a body type than it is about age. I don't really quite agree with Freeram being in the LOLI category because I find her body is too mature. Like, she's just... Her body's too mature. It's not petite enough. But some people argue she is. And this is what I mean. The word LOLI is just very broad. Some people only stick with the true definition of what a LOLI is. And some people say all the rest just doesn't really count. Because I've had people say Rory from Gate doesn't count as a LOLI. LOLI is just an aesthetic and tropes. Yeah, it really is. LOLI is a very broad word. I think the creators that are okay with LOLI are Hirohei and Chibi. Again, me and Chibi actually think the same way. Because I was watching a stream actually where he was on it. Cheeky bastard. Why aren't you collaborating with me, Chibi? Chibi. I did bug him about that. I want to try and get a collab with him. So keep bugging him. I want to collab with him on something. I don't know what. But Chibi is in the same stance as me. I don't really like, I'm not a lolly fan, right? In the sense of, like, I'm not a big lolly consumer. I defend lolly content. I like some lolly characters, but I'm not a lolly fan. It's like, say, for example, it's like, I like cars, right? Cars are cool. I drive a car. I own a car. I like driving my car. Whenever I can afford petrol, I like to drive. But I'm not a car enthusiast. I'm not reading car magazines every day. I'm not consuming car stuff. So, I don't mind lollies. There's a couple of lolly characters I like. Hestia, etc. is one. Mina Tepish from Dance in the Vampire Bun. Fun story about this volume. This volume was a pain in the ass to get. But I'm not a big lolly consumer. You're not going to see me tweet about lollies every hour, right? Like some accounts do. So I'm not really a lolicon type person. I'm not really into lolly stuff. I just don't mind them. I'm going to unsub from Rev's stance since he doesn't stop her wife yapping. Honestly, Rev's biggest mistake was letting Straub just go on a complete tandem. She's done so much damage to his reputation in one day. There's nothing he can say to cover it up because everyone knows he's in damage control. The argument is that lolly body type looks childlike. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, Hestia looks a childlike looking body type, but she still looks mature-ish. Right? So you can still have the adult looking aesthetic, but still be childlike. It's all about youthfulness. But yeah, that is the clearest way of a picture, in my opinion. Anyways, got to go, unfortunately, speak to the other times. See you, mate. Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, lolly is a very broad word. That's why I use this graph as the go-to. Anime characters do not have real bodies. Exactly. They're not real. So, by going after lolly-based content, you're attacking a lot of different stuff. And this is why I generally feel like Rev's stance and his pivot is just very weird, right? It's very weird. And I think, again, what he has stated contradicts what she has stated. And people say, well, she doesn't talk for Rev. Well, she kind of does. Because one, they're married. And two, she has actually spoken in conversation as if she is talking for the both of them. Again, I showed those tweets before. All censorship should be pushed back on when you don't defend stuff. Yeah, all censorship is just generally bad. The problem that I have is that I feel like Rev has slowly distanced himself from what he used to stand for. And that's the problem that I have, is that he is actively very heavily pushed away from what he used to stand for. And I just don't think he's quite the ally that he used to be. Again, I'm not trying to hate on Straub. I'm not trying to hate on Rev. I don't have any hatred towards them whatsoever. But I want to hold them accountable to their words and to their actions. Because I don't care if you're on the left. I don't care if you're on the right. I will hold you accountable. I don't have any allegiance to any side. And I think more people need to be on that stance. That we need to hold people more accountable. Another image would be this one as well. He's going down the Razor Fist path. I don't know enough about Razor Fist to know. I dislike furries, but I don't go out of my way to police. I'm not a big fan of furries, but yeah, I don't really go out of my way to attack them. Again, if you like your furry content, you like your furry content. As long as you leave kids alone, I don't have a problem. Just leave kids alone. That's all it is. It's the same with lolly stuff. If you want to enjoy lolly content, knock yourself out. Don't need censorship. But just leave the kids alone. That's all I ask. Leave the kids alone. Which is funny because I get called the P word and I'm just saying, hey, leave the kids alone. I just do not find lolly stuff appealing. Neither do I. I mean, okay. We have to play the technicality of, right, of like, oh, well, actually, fairies, are we talking like pure fairies? Or are we talking, you know, let's bring out this bad boy. Oh, I love this figure, by the way. I love this figure. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. Or are we talking this kind of furry? Oh, yeah. See? They'd get rid of this. This is peak. Cat Planet Cuties. Greatest anime of all time. That's good furry. That's good furry. I love that figure. I got it last year for my birthday. I need to get another one. I could probably ask someone to get one for me and then ship it over. So, but yeah. I should have yeah. It's funny, it's actually the antis and the people against LOLI stuff who think about actual kids. And yeah, to be honest, most people that hate LOLI-based content are generally the ones that obsess about kids the most. But funny story, I should have actually been on widescreen when I showed that figure. I might do it afterwards. I just got this in the mail. This cost me $100. This was a pain in the ass to get because I'm trying to get the entire collection of Dancing the Vampire Bund, and my God, is it hard to get this volume. It is unobtainable to get this volume. I've looked everywhere and I found it on eBay and I got a copy of it. So I was really happy. Very happy. I think they might have disagreements behind the scene. I don't think they condemn each other publicly. Who are we referring to there? But yeah, getting that volume was a pain in the butt. Because I can't find it anywhere. No bookstore is selling it anymore. So I'm trying to get the full collection of Dancing the Vampire Bund and stay up to date on it. So I can cover it in a video. Again, you can read it online very easily. But I prefer to have physical over digital. But it is a pain in the ass. This is worth a lot. Because it's very hard to get this volume. But I'm glad I got it. I don't regret getting it. I've got the others coming in the mail. They're coming from another bookstore that actually has stock. That was the only stock they didn't have. Oh, REV and Straub. I think they might have a disagreement behind the scenes. I don't think they will condemn each other publicly. No, I don't think they will. But I think Straub has definitely shot REV in the foot. And I think he's probably in damage control. But the thing is, like I said, her words and his words completely contradict each other. And again, she has been talking on his behest. So it doesn't make it look good how she's speaking for him. Also, might as well bring it up because someone else, I will cover this in a video. Data Life, F, Last Day. I believe it's referred to as the last season. It's like an anime project. It's going to be the final season. So, yeah, boy. I wonder how it's referred to. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check a website to track it. Okay. TBA. Just trying to see how it's referred to. Headlines. Let's have a look. It's referred to as... Oh, no. I do not want to get copyright strikes. Thank you very much. I like keeping my channel in one goddamn piece. I mean, on here, it's referred to as Data Live F Last Date, Anime Project Reveals Title. I'm assuming it's the final season. It's the final season. I stopped using Twitter. What did Rev do? You'd have to backtrack through all my old stuff. Go back to the start of the stream. I used to watch Rev's content quite a lot, actually. But once he started obsessing about Hassan, I got bored of it. I generally just don't really care about Hassan. Like, do I like Hassan? No. I dislike Hassan. I think he's a horrible human being. But I'm not going to talk about him every single day. That's just, I don't know. That's boring. It's fatiguing. I just don't care. And I find anyone obsessing over Hassan every day, it's like, I get criticizing him, you know, get that bag, but I'm just like, that just sounds sad. It's obsessive, and it's also just, I don't know, kind of goes against a lot of values that you too, I stopped watching Rev for the same reason. Yeah, I generally got, here's the thing, if you want to make a video criticizing someone, do it. Make a follow-up, sure. Make a third video, alright, sure. But once you're breaking the 30 plus videos on the same person, At that point, I'm just not really going to give a shit anymore. You're kind of just milking it. Yeah. Find someone new to whine about. It's like, oh, just compile an entire week's worth of Hassan stuff, right? Rather than talking about him like 5 times a week, talk about him once a fortnight. I just find it too repetitive. I get it though. Hassan's very popular. He's very easy to dunk on. There's a lot of things to dislike Hassan about, but it's repetitious. We all know Hassan is cratering. It's time to move on. Yeah. And the reason why Hassan is still getting attention is because people keep talking about him. I just move on. I just want to talk about some anime stuff. I want to start making some anime content again. And I actually generally really hope people actually support when I start making some more of the anime content. Because I'm really looking forward to it. So, but I'm going to properly promote it all and stuff and put it on X and everything. So, go back to post anime clips. The problem is anime clips get you copyright striked. Someone did the count. He made over 200 Hassan videos, which is insane. Jesus Christ. You wouldn't catch me doing that. I generally go insane. Dude, I used to hate having to cover High School DxD every 3 months. I thought that was too repetitive. Since you have watched the professional video on his opinion on the digital ID, what is your opinion of him? I don't really have an opinion on him. I just cared more about the fact that, again, I'm against digital ID. I think digital ID is actively a bad idea. I think digital ID does not protect people. It leads... Here's the thing. Digital ID opens up a gateway for a black market, which has already happened. You look at Crunchyroll, right? Crunchyroll had their hack, their leak, they lost a bunch of information, right? They got people's data leaked. Straight away, what ended up happening was now all their information has been sold on the internet. And by doing that, that's what's going to happen with digital ID. It opens a bigger and bigger and bigger target. So the more people have to push their digital ID on the internet, the more it becomes a target. It's like a gold mine, or it's like a treasure chest, right? Imagine having a treasure chest and putting one coin in there and putting all those traps behind it. Do you think someone's really going to want to go through all that trouble just to get that one coin? No. Well, let's fill that chest up with coins. Let's add another 10 more chests of full of coins, gold coins, and let's fill the entire room with fancy gold stuff. Now it's worth going after. That's how digital ID is to me. It is a treasure trove of information that you can steal and sell on the black market. And digital ID is not going to be protected enough by governments and by corporations to make it worth using. There are some forms of digital ID that are needed, right? When it comes to things like, for example, YouTube and monetization, yes, you need to give digital ID for tax reasons, right? That is absolutely a necessary thing that you need to do. But I just realized YouTube's complaining, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that after stream. But yeah, it's one of those where it's like, okay, you know, digital ID, it leads to a lot of bad ideas. It leads to a lot of people having their information hacked, stolen, turned it into a black market. So it's one of those where I'm actively against digital ID for that very, very, very specific reason. I just saw a tweet. Honestly, I kind of think this is somewhat true. Yeah, I'm giving it until the end of the year, until Rev pivots to being anti-fan service guy. What a funny turn of events. I kind of agree. It's a felon to read mail. Everyone gets why it's bad. Digital ID is not a good idea, period. If Rev sees current Rev, he'd slap his future self. Yeah, he would. Have you been watching the... I haven't started it yet, but I'm going to. It's kind of generic, but I will always be a showman. I watched the first season. I thought it was fun. I'm going to be depressed if REV becomes anti-fan service. Well, the thing is, okay, so let's play a thought experiment here. I wonder if we can have this little bit of fun, actually. I want to ask Rock, what is the definition of pornography? Alright, you want to do this? We want to do this? Let's ask Rock. We'll have a bit of fun.
Sounds good. I'm game. What's the plan?
What is the definition of porn?
Porn is any media, images, videos, writing, or audio, explicitly created or presented with the primary goal of sexually arousing the viewer or reader. It focuses on graphic sexual content, usually without artistic, educational, or storytelling intent beyond turning someone on.
So would High School DxD, which is a very heavy fan service type anime that also shows Ria Scrimmary's boobs, would that be classified as porn?
No, High School DxD isn't classified as porn. It's an ecchi anime. It's packed with fan service and shows boobs, but the nudity is either censored, brief, or not the main focus. The show has an actual plot, characters, and story that aren't just there to deliver sex scenes. Porn's main purpose is sexual arousal through explicit sexual acts. DxD is meant to be comedic, action-oriented, and titillating, but it's still mainstream anime, not hentai or porn.
But High School DxD does show explicitly heavy fan service scenes showing Ria's body parts along with other characters as well, showing it in a way that is very much of a sexualized to arouse the audience while also being comedic as well. Wouldn't that be still classified as some form of softcore porn?
It can be called softcore porn in a casual sense. Yeah. The heavy fan service, lingering shots on Rias and the girls, and the whole design to arouse vibe definitely crosses into that territory for a lot of people. But officially and in anime circles, it's classified as ecchi, a harem comedy with action and supernatural elements that just cranks the sexual teasing way up. No actual sex scenes, no
So then the reason
genitals.
why I asked you this question is because there are people out there that have actively said that porn itself and forms of different types of porn should be actively censored or watered down. Would not those individuals potentially be questioning to go after shows like High School DxD, which is very much in that area of showing a lot of skin? Because those people will start with, yeah, just straight up, Pornhub, and then moving towards shows that are very much in an area of much more heavier fan service.
Yes. That's exactly how it usually works. People who push for censorship rarely stop at hardcore porn. The pattern is almost always the same. Start with the easiest target, straight up porn on sites like Pornhub. Then move to softcore, or anything that looks sexual. Hentai, OnlyFans creators, erotic games. Next come the borderline cases. Heavy ecchi anime like High School DxD, Kill la Kill, or To Love Ru. Eventually, it reaches anything with fan service, revealing outfits, or sexual tension. The argument always shifts from, this is literal pornography, to, this is too sexualized, it harms people, it objectifies women, it normalizes bad attitudes, etc. Once you accept the principle that something should be censored because it's sexually arousing, the line becomes very easy to move. So yeah, someone who says all porn should be censored or watered down will almost certainly come for DxD and shows like it eventually. That's not speculation. It's the observed pattern every single time this debate comes up.
There you have it. I've just muted it so that it doesn't start talking again. But there you have it. Grok even agrees, by the definition, based on how behavior works, they're gonna move for these shows as well. This is why censorship is bad. I love using Grok, by the way. It's kind of really funny. Everyone's like, wait, you have to pay for this, though. REV is a friendly reminder that the LGBT content is always on the chopping block where the censorship... Again, I don't believe in censorship, period, so... I've written this, but I don't think you read it. I am glad you are safe. Your tweet on a small truck carrying... Oh, yeah. That was a couple of months ago. That was a wild time. But yeah, you can kind of see how Grok values what it is. And again, it's going based on technicality terms and all that kind of stuff. These are the same people who want to get us back to the days when if a woman's sock slips and you see an ankle, it's a scandal. I mean, remember back in the old days where they used to go out to the beaches and measure their skirts and everything. This is the kind of stuff that they're slowly going to push. It's wild activism. This is why anti-AI people keep screaming. The funny thing is a lot of the pro-AI people are people that are also pushing censorship. It's a weird, wild world that we live in. But that's why I brought it up. Because I wanted not just myself, but to demonstrate that even in AI, when you ask the definition of what porn is, you ask for clarification of, well, would this see as high school DxD? And it goes, well, no, not really, you know, isn't classified as that. But then you point out the hypothetical of how people see the definition of it. People that are in that religious area that are actively calling for that censorship would move straight into this line. Because it's the canary in the coal mine that you need to understand. And this is why we are so actively against this kind of behavior. Because the moment they start asking for, oh, well, let's just ban this is the extreme, it instantly moves the goalpost. It instantly, and that is my concern with where Rev is going, right? It's that slippery slope that he's kind of standing on one thing and then slowly he'll pivot away. And I mean, what could happen is the right will start losing the culture war and the left will start getting back momentum. And then suddenly a lot of people on the right will start moving towards the center again. Because let's be honest here, a lot of people that were in the center right have very heavily pivoted over to the right. A lot of their values have very much moved. I understand this whole meme of people in the center are only right because the left has pushed it more, but I do believe some people on the center and the center right have pivoted over to the right much more heavily because it has become a more, you're part of a clique, you're part of a friends group, you get to be accepted into that. Because again, I'm not beloved by a lot of people on the right because I don't bend the knee to what they demand. And I think if the right starts to lose the culture war, because they start calling for censorship and a lot of people go, hey, this isn't condoned, the left might start pivoting their stance and go, hey, we're against censorship. People might start moving back to the left and the right starts losing the culture war and people like potentially Rev may start pivoting his stance more away from what he originally standed for. Again, it's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical. And this is why, yeah, I don't like the left or the right. I'm center-right and I do not censorship. Yeah, and again, most of us, center-left, center-right, center in general, most of us don't condone censorship. But we've got to be honest that there are extremes on the left and there are extremes on the right. And we need to call them out because honestly, the extreme right has grown in size. It has become very profitable to be very hard right. I'm a pure centrist. I don't like both sides. I'm kind of on the same, to be honest. I'm very much starting to grow to disdain a lot of people on the right because it's very clear that they have built a cult, they have built a little bubble, and they are starting to push their own agenda very heavily, and they have become no different than the hard left. I'll say it. You may not like what I say, but I've been right so many times. I have an ego for a reason, guys. I have an ego for a reason because I keep being right on these things. I keep predicting them, they keep coming true. When we've seen so much extreme left, we've become blind to ultra-right. Yes, the ultra-right Puritans. And that's the problem. We're so on edge when it comes to the left that we've allowed the right to really gain a foothold and start to push a lot of things that I don't think many of us really condone. Because they're moving the slippery slope. They're starting from the basics. I feel like they don't care for censorship. They just say this because it's a better grift. Potentially. And if that's the case, then are they going to pivot when the culture war shift changes? Which is why we shouldn't really trust anything they say. Because again, even if they don't believe in what they're pushing, they're still pushing it. They're still actively promoting it. Let's start a freeway war. Honestly, sounds more entertaining. If we have a freeway war, we can build our own faction. The Great Gooner faction. Who will lead it? I do not know. I don't know if I want to lead it. Sounds too much work to me. I just like gooning. We're going to go back to the 90s with the crazy far right stuff. Potentially. Potentially. And then it's going to pivot. It's going to be a pendulum swing. And everyone's going to go back to the left. And then the right. And then the left. And then the right. And then the left. And then the right. And then the left. And it's a pendulum. We need to just stop in the middle and say enough's enough. Get rid of them both. Horseshoe theory. Yep. And it's the thing that I always bring up. We need to make a stand. And I think now we're starting to see more content creators that are against the far left and the far right, like myself and other people. I think Monta Sensei, even though he's a bit right-leaning, he's very much in the same stance as me. He is against this kind of stuff. He's actively calling it out. And he's told me before, he's thanked me in the DMs for calling out some people that are very much pushing for censorship that a lot of people are too scared to call out. Far center, exactly. Make center great again. Who knew they were just grifters and then two just more clearer now? I think a lot of people are starting, and this was something I said at the end of last year. I said at the end of last year, I said that this year, 2026, would be the year of exposing grifters. I said it, and it is happening. We are now starting to expose more and more and more grifters. And so began the Gooner War. Yep. The great Gooner War has begun. I think I might have started it, but hey, who knows? Give me more examples of people like you. I think I only know 2 or 3 guys. If I find more, I'll work with them, I'll collaborate with them, and I'll help promote them. But I don't know many of them either. There's too many people that are on the far left and the far right. It's hard to call out. And there are some that I still don't quite trust. I've trusted too many people and been burnt too many times, so I'm very skeptical on trusting people now. And there are a lot of VTubers that kind of feel like they're kind of just using me. So I've got to be very careful on who I call out. But yeah. But I'm going to keep an eye out on it, and we'll see what happens. People said I am official, but you're way more critical than me. People said I am critical, but you are way more critical. I'm critical of both sides. That is why both sides don't like me. There are people on the far right that actually don't like me. There's Discord servers and there's chat groups that actively talk about me, that really do not like me, because I am willing to go after both sides. And that actually, I've heard from sources within those groups that some of those content creators are actually kind of a little bit scared, but also respect the fact that I call out both sides. That some of them are like, you know what, we don't like him, but we respect it. I think it's not gonna lie, more of us need to start content creation. I think more people need to start supporting content creators that do align with. Like, sure, more people can start doing content creation, but I think it's also important to support those content creators that you do find. Oh, no, what I meant is critical thinking. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm critical of myself as well. I try to be critical of how I see things and what I call out, and even call out myself. That's why a lot of the times I'll have stances and I'll say to myself, you know what, I don't quite agree with my own stance there. I'm just kind of like thought experimenting. Like last night, we were talking about gotcha games and how I didn't like some of the gotcha game predatory nature. And we were discussing about regulatory practices that we could do. And I sat there and I said, you know, I don't quite agree with my stance on it, but I'm thought experimenting. Because a lot of the times I'm thinking these things through for the first time. And I need to pitch the idea. I need to say, okay, let's think of this as a regulation. And people say, no, that's a bad idea, and this is why. And I go, you know what, I agree with that. Let's scrap that idea. Let's think of a new idea. And I like to think it through. I like to think critically, build an idea, see if it works, test it, throw it at other people. And that's why I use Grok. I like to use Grok because it doesn't get so judgmental. Because a lot of people need to understand that, yeah, that's how I think. So I'll come up with an idea and I'll say to Grok, hey, this is what I think. And Grok will say, and I'll say to it, disagree with me, find flaws in it, find factual evidence. And it will say, this is wrong, that's wrong. And I'll build my thoughts and then I'll debate it. And yeah. Should I continue watching Rev? That's up to you. I'm not going to tell you if you should support or not support Rev. That is completely up to you. But you need to see everything that he has said, everything his wife has said. And you need to make your own decision on if you want to support his content or not. If you believe he best represents your views and your values. Because again, I'm not going to hate on him. I'm simply just being fair and critical of his words, her words, his actions. Because again, actions speak louder than words. And you need to see that. You need to analyze it yourself. And you need to come to your own conclusion whether you want to support Rev or not. That is on you. If you want to continue supporting him, that's fine. That's your choice. People may not agree with it. I may not agree with it, but that's your choice. But if you don't want to, again, some people may not agree with it. I may not agree with that, but that is your choice. You need to make the choice. Sorry, I just don't have a Twitter. That's fine. I know it's going to be hard to see all the information out there about what Rev has said, because again, Rev is going to say his own version, and a lot of content creators that you potentially could be subscribed to are going to glaze him. So yeah, you only see YouTube, but like I said, if you go through the original parts of the tweets, yeah. What grok plan do I have? I have the middle one. I don't have the super expensive one. I don't have the cheap one. I have the middle one. Because the expensive one's like $50 a month for me. I don't want to pay that. That's too much for me. So I've got the middle one. It's enough that I get paid for it and all that, so. But, I mean, again, you need to look at what I've covered, look at all the tweets that I've covered, and make your own decision. Personally, I am concerned in the direction that Rev has gone. I do question the direction he is going to go in, and I do feel like he is heavily pivoted. He has changed his stance. He's too scared to be forthcoming about his stance. And I just don't think he's quite the person he used to be, which is fine. You know, everyone changes. But I also think he's trying to cover up his past. I think he doesn't want to have the conversation, if I can be, you know, it's a bit of a muddle of words, but I just feel like he's too scared to say his own stance because he knows people are going to call him out for it. Isn't that most of Red's content? Kaya's memes were... The Kaya memes were fun, but other than that, it's so boring to me. Isn't that most of Rev's content? Yeah, I mean, again, all he does is generally covers. I think Rev is pulling a Nux. I used to watch Nux's content, but a lot of his political content is just boring to me now. Nux's. I've kind of lost a lot of interest, and it's also all the same Hassan. So I've just kind of generally gotten bored. Okay, I actually mentioned you because I would like to hear Spiritual's opinion. Will you co-op with Chibi since he's pro anti-censor? I'm more than happy to, but I also think Chibi is scared, and I'm just being honest here, as someone that's friends with Chibi, I think he is scared to be critical of Rev because I don't think he wants to upset his friends group. I think generally Chibi doesn't have as many content creator friends, and he's scared to lose his content creator friends. I don't care if every content creator hates me. I just generally don't give a shit. I don't need content creators as friends. I've got friends in real life. I mean, if I have content creators as friends, that's fine. But I don't need them to be my friend. I don't have to. Nux is good to listen to when I draw. Nux can be fun to listen to, but I find a lot of his opinions are very propaganda. It's like, okay, who's paying you, Nux? I want some of that. I want some of that cheddar. Get me in on that. etc., said that another factor would be Rev losing commissions, partners, and potentially payment process due to being a defender of LOLI content, which is valid. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's his religious values that have changed, and that's why he's pivoted. I think it's one, his religious values have changed, and two, his friend circle has changed, and his friend circle is actively against lolicon-based content and pro-censoring corn, and he is slowly pivoting his stance to align with what they believe in. And that's why my concern is that over time he will continuously pivot until he is actively pro-censorship. And based on what Straub has said, she's kind of on the line of it. And again, if you don't believe me, I will pull up the exact tweet where she basically says that she's pretty much on the line of it. I'm a big advocate for free speech and I don't want tons of censorship anywhere. However, I think porn, it's just like, yeah. I believe that they are going to slowly pivot their stance. And they're going to become more and more and more pro-censorship as time goes on, because I think they're pivoting their stance to slowly allow their audience to get used to that stance. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Again, Rev has deliberately steered away from calling out censorship and calling out people attacking the lolicon community over the last year. He has. We know that. I've called it out. Others have called it out. I think I'm mainly the main one that's called it out, but that's why a lot of content creators have DM'd me tonight. They've said, you're a prophet. You called it. You said it yourself. That they were deliberately avoiding it, and this was why. Because their stance has changed. I called it. I called it a year ago. Again, I hate having an ego, but I have an ego for a reason. Because I see the pattern. I've been an atheist since high school. I'm just in that. I used to be a Christian in high school. I used to be a practicing Christian when I was growing up as a kid in primary school and high school. I moved away from it for my own personal reasons. I don't really care to get into a discussion with Christians about it, because every time a Christian has tried to talk to me about it, they've just been condescending, belittling, very hostile towards me. And to be honest, I've kind of grown to dislike Christians more as they've acted in that way. But again, I try to judge people individually, not as a collective group. So I have a lot of Christian content creators and friends that aren't like that. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for them. But there are a lot of Christians that have been actively hostile towards me because I've said that I used to be a Christian. And it's just irritating. Rev even had a big spat with Nux on this side of the lot. Yeah, and now he's friends with Nux. And Nux is still attacking the LOLI community. But now Rev won't call it out. So Rev used to call out Nux for what he used to stand on, but now Rev is friends with Nux, and Nux is still attacking the lolicon community. It's so funny to me that they blame corn on stuff when it's the reason so many people resort to it is because women and men relations are burning to the ground. Fix that. Yeah, I agree. I think the biggest issue and the reason why there is a corn addiction is because of bad relationships. And a lot of that comes down to social media painting men as evil villains, mainstream media doing the same, governments constantly pushing a lot of this agenda bullshit, and it's slowly alienating men and women from each other. Right? It's turning groups against each other, especially where you've got women on the left that are saying, I'm not going to sleep with men or date men because they're on the right. So it blackmails men into having certain political views so that they can be in any intimate relationship. So we're seeing right away, right now, we're seeing a very hard attack on the general relationship between men and women. So naturally, what are men going to do when they're desperately looking for some form of companionship? They're going to go to websites. And again, you can sit there and say, let's ban it. That will fix all our birth rate problems. One, no, it won't. It will never fix the problems. But also, China does the same thing. China has the most draconic systems in place to stop corn, and yet it has not worked. People in China consume the same amount of corn as what Americans do. Yet China has the most draconic laws out there. So how does that work? How does that work? Because again, it doesn't work. Banning it will not work. It is an excuse to push digital ID and to push religious doctrine. It is. And the fact that Straub's kind of starting to push that mindset, Rev can get all upset he wants. So, I'd like to use an interesting aspect of Christianity for my wife, writing only zealots is scary of Islam. Check out. But yeah, I just, like I said, I don't want to sound like I'm attacking anyone, because I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just simply wanting clarification. I'm wanting to understand their stance more. But when they say one thing and they say another thing, it's generally difficult for me to get a proper grasp on where they stand on things. So, yeah. I don't, yeah, I just, it's generally frustrating for me to kind of go over that. And of course, now we're starting to see other people on the left and the right that are now actively attacking the lolicon community because of REV. So they're kind of using REV as a catalyst of being like, look, one of your own champions has abandoned you. And now they're using that as a way to now attack the community. Because a lot of people on the left and the right see what REV is saying in the content creator space, see that as, well, REV has now abandoned you, now we're going to attack you. That's just, yeah, that's also concerning. Do not take things to an extreme. It's impossible to challenge for his sugar religiosity. I mean, like I said, I'm just simply trying to be fair, trying to be critical, but being honest about it. And being, again, transparency. It never works. The U.S. history on ban alcohol also failed. Yeah, I remember reading about that. And yeah, that failed miserably. People will find one way or the other to get it because humans have desire. Yeah. And that's the thing. Banning alcohol didn't work. Do they think banning corn is going to stop it as well? No. Okay. Now I'm really curious of what Rev actually said. I'm going to go back to the start of the show. Yeah, you can go back, scroll through, go through the start, and yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, I'm looking just here now. There's this tweet here, and it looks like, yeah, other content creators are using this. Like, Mythical is a weird guy, but they're using this as a whole, like, a lynch of, like, yes, there's weakness on the right. There's dissent. Now we attack. And now the anime community is going to get attacked more because of it. Rev won't go full Nux, maybe. I don't think Rev will go full Nux. But it doesn't matter, because Rev won't call out people like Nux. Nux will keep attacking the anime and the loli community, and there'll be nothing you can do about it, because they're going to continuously call it out. Italians have the corn. Yep, Italians have the corn. Corn is illegal in several countries, and it never works. It doesn't. South Korea also bans it. Doesn't fix the birth rate problem. It's actually worse. I think they're now starting to get a better birth rate, but I think that's due to other reasons. But I think birth rate problems are generally due to several reasons. One, relationship breakdown between men and women. Social media has absolutely destroyed the relationship because people are just feeding into hate. Mainstream media is feeding into it, that kind of stuff. Governments, again, have caused dissent. But also, the cost of living is too expensive. People don't have free time. People are too busy paying excessive taxes. Every new year, there's a new tax to have to pay, and people just can't afford to live. People can't afford to do anything. So imagine if you don't have the free time to go out and enjoy life, you can't enjoy and go meet other people. You can't meet men or women. And so you can't form relationships because you're too busy working. And so it's a breakdown as a society if men and women cannot functionally get along, cannot communicate. Nux quite literally is a political agent. I realize this with his constant content shift. I mean, he has made a lot of shifts, and I watch a lot of his content. At a certain point, can you see how he suddenly went political and other stuff? Yes, he pivoted very heavily away from anime and went very political. The reason why birth rates is bad, especially in South Korea, is because of the radical feminists. Yeah, feminism is a massive problem. But I also think the right isn't making it easy as well, because the right is now kind of doing this whole all women are bad. And it's like, okay, attacking women isn't going to help either. Because women are attacking men, men are attacking women. It needs to stop. We need to come together and unify. But we're not. We're attacking each other. And I think it's designed. I think it's done deliberately. And I think there are some content creators on the right that like attacking women because it's profitable. It's just, yeah, it's generally frustrating. Okay, so what else is there that we need to cover? I really disagree on the wealth thing. Humans have been plenty poor and still got together. I mean, yes, you could look at poorer societies, right? Different countries, right, that are poorer. But again, define poor. I think, again, there are different types of poverty, right? You can look at like a country that is a third world country that is very poor, and yet they have heaps of kids, right? And the simple reason is because, again, there's no contraception, there's none of that kind of stuff to prevent kids. But then you look at a country like the US or Europe, there is a layer of too much taxes. And it's not so much that they're poor, it's that they're too busy working and paying taxes to actually have any time to do anything. So the biggest issue is, yeah, you can sit there and say, oh, well, you know, there are other points in time where we've been poor, but people have had heaps of kids. Yes, but it's a different type of poor right now, right? People are too busy having to pay taxes because of the fact that they're constantly part of a treadmill where it comes to, oh, well, I have to work to make more money to put food on the table. When back in the old days, yeah, you were just poor, but you had to do by. But you also, back then, you didn't have contraception and all that. So a lot of things have changed. Poor me needing to work six hours a day, both to survive. Yeah, that's poor. I mean, they have things like, you know, TVs, food, and all the rest, but they're poor in the sense of that they're living a shit life as far as meaningfulness goes, right? They're not enjoying life. They're stuck working 9 to 5, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's, I think, one of the biggest problems. Is that we're seeing this massive change in how society functions. Preferences have changed. People don't want 3+ kids when given the choice. It's also the fact that a lot of elderly people can't retire younger now. So a lot of elderly people don't retire until they're like, well, they can't retire until they die, right? So because of that, a lot of families that normally have kids would generally have their grandparents take care of them, right? When they're on holidays or they're working, they might have the grandparents take care of them. But a lot of those elderly people are now in the workforce. So they don't have time to contribute towards a family, right? Because grandparents love kids, right? They love spoiling their grandkids. So we're seeing a massive change and shift in society because, again, parents have to work more, so they're not as willing to have as many kids. But also, grandparents just don't have the time because they're too busy working as well. Society is collapsing because governments are just slowly strangling people on the ability to function as a society, which is leading to people just not wanting to have kids. And also, mainstream media is constantly telling women that kids are restrictive, kids are evil, having a family is bad. And so naturally, men become lonely, they become desperate, and so what do? They go to corn. It's a symptom to a problem. And rather than looking at the root of the problem, people just go to the symptom and go, well, we need to get rid of the symptom. But the problem's still there. It's not going to get rid of it's not going to get rid of it. And John, I saw the comment the first time. You don't need to post it 5 more times, please. Both parents work, so we get 2 times tax. Yeah, and that's another problem. Taxes. It's just, yeah. I consider you the Ricky Gravel of the anime community. That's a compliment. That's a compliment. I like him. He's a funny guy. I come from a very sheltered time frame where there is no memory of worse times. The media you talk about is way more effective. I mean, media's been kind of covering up a lot of things for a very long time. Ever heard of the black tax? No. But I can guess what it means. I'm just kind of checking to see if there's any like additional stuff that I need to go over. Because if there isn't really too much to go over, I might I might call that the stream. Because honestly, I wasn't going to stream tonight, but I really wanted to go over this because I was going to make a video. People are forced to work 2 or more jobs, and people ask why people don't want to have kids. Yeah, and that's the problem. People don't have time to have kids because people are too busy working. A fact many don't consider: when women entered the workforce, pay got cut in half because there are more people to pay. It was a strategy for them to divide people. Bringing women into the workforce was deliberately designed to make corporations richer and make people poorer and make more tax revenue. Glad to know that you know Ricky Gervais. Both you are not afraid to call people. I'm not. Trust me, there are a lot of content creators that do not like me. For damn good reason. That doesn't bother me. I don't care if everyone hates me. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. When I lived in South Africa, I had black friends that complained about the black tax. Basically, all their wealth they had to share with their extended family because they are black, having children. Oh. That's weird. If you turn this stream to video. Oh, I mean, after the stream's done, it will be a video. So you can go watch it straight after the stream's done. So, I'm going to make sure not to delete the old streams. So, this is unrelated to the topic, but would you be able to ask a question on a light novel you made a video covering quite a long time ago? Which light novel? Having children in the form of retired saving is some countries. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing as well, is a lot of people in poorer countries have kids as a form of investment to get the kids to work for them to try and help, you know, cost of living. I could imagine if you were invited to a streamer award, you would roast the hell out of these streamers. Oh, I'd absolutely dogpile on them. I do it on X anyway. I don't give a damn. Trust me, I'm not scared to call any of them out. There are specific VTubers that do not like me because I've called out their friend circles. There are VTubers that are actively scared of me. There are content creators on the right that are actively scared of me on the right and on the left. Mother's Basement whined about me because apparently I stole his border frame. Don't know how I did that. I've had that border frame since I started YouTube like 8-9 years ago. And a friend made that for me. But apparently Mother's Basement has weird problems in his head. I've gotten into beefs with Tectone and lived to tell the tale. And now look where Tectone is. Not exactly doing that successful. I've had Joey talk about me on Trash Taste because I called out Connor for being a toxic D-bag and using Joey's words against him. I think I've pissed off just about everyone in the content creator space at this point. Hot take: child labor is what made the West rich. I could kind of agree with that. Mother's Basement is a child. He acts like a child. He's actually been attacking. He made a tweet not long ago today about this situation. Actually, I still have it on another tab. Here it is. Here. This one here. Chibi Reviews and Rev said Desu's wife, Darling Strobe, are going back and forth. The lolicon community is self-destructing. It's funny watching the more savvy side of the weeb right walk this tightrope between their own ecchi loving fans and their sex negative pro censorship religious fundamental party, and how the fans don't see it. Even the Florida, Texas legally restricting anime. I don't like Mother's Basement, but actually, to be honest, he is kind of a little bit right on that. A little bit. He is somewhat actually right. to some degree. He's a little bit over-exaggerating some things. Because there's one comment saying Florida and Texas have not restricted anime. That was a big fear monger, but it was yet to actually happen. Very surprising that the Leaf living in the Tokyo knows jack about the US law. But yeah, I mean, I do agree with like the whole religious fundamental party, because it's like, again, I feel like Mother's Basement's just throwing a bunch of buzzwords, but it is one of those where, again, I don't agree with the fundamentals of it. I do think he's been a facetious douchebag, but there is a little bit of truth, a little bit baked in it. At least you have Chibi Reviews. The problem with Chibi Reviews is that he's too scared to call out people on the right. He is. He's generally too scared. He's generally too scared to be critical because he's friends with a lot of those people, and so he keeps his mouth shut. And I get it. You know, he doesn't want to upset the apple cart, but it's not like he collabs with them. Well, he's now apparently collabing with other people. I have a friend who lives in Florida, and he told me a Yuri got banned from where he lives. Well, what? Thank you for the 1 month member of 1 month platinum. Do you think Rev would hate his current self? I think if his past self saw his current self, I think his past self would call him out. But that's the thing. A lot of the times we change in ways that we don't predict. That's the sad part about it. FLT, it's just more proof that you don't really care about the anime, and you're just here to shove your political BS. I agree with Mitsu on that, though. Yuri. Oh, they banned Yuri. That's stupid. They shouldn't ban Yuri. Again, any form of censorship bad. They shouldn't ban Yuri. A broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah, I mean, there's some truth in what he's saying, but a lot of it's just him using buzzwords and trying to push his political rubbish. But technically, then he is right. Even if Florida has banned Yuri content, then there is some form of censorship going on. So, again, I'm against censorship. If you saw the video Sean ahead about evangelical Christians, you would know they aren't on our side. Oh, I have watched Sean ahead's video. To be very clear, I have watched her video on that. And yeah, it's kind of scary. It is very scary. And there's a lot of people on the right that are calling her out because they don't like the fact that she's kind of hit a nail on the head there. Why does he keep saying Yuri? Why does he keep... Who? Wait, Yuri, not Yuri? What's the difference between the word? I thought it was a misspelling. He said the male, not the Yuri. Oh. Banana fish. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh god, that scares me too. YouTube's doing more changes that I don't really like. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't condone any form of banning, whether it's Yuri or whatnot, right? So if Florida is banning stuff, then I'm actively against that. I don't condone it at all. Because again, censorship is just bad in general. Just seeing more posts about the Data Live announcement. But yeah, there's... But I feel like we've covered everything on that. And I don't really want to go too much more into the whole Rev drama, because it feels like at that point I'm just kind of going around in a circle with it. I mean, again, you can go back to the previous parts and watch through it all as we went through the tweets. Have you watched Bane, the... Oh, yeah, I have. Gigit's thing. I thought it was alright. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was, like, average. It was very, like, a Rust story, but it had fundamentally good premises there. I watched the Anime Man video long time ago about your and not being about LGBT. Okay. Beating a dead horse. Yeah, it just feels like if I keep going in a circle about the red stuff, it'll feel like beating a dead horse. I just wanted to go over it. I wanted to be thorough. Wanted to go over it. Wanted to get my point across. Be very clear in it. And just kind of move on. Because I was going to make a video on it, but I was like... I'd rather do the Data Live video than do the Rev video. Because I really want to talk about Data Live more. So once stream's done, I'll get something to eat, grab something to drink, and then I'll go over the Data Live video, and then I'll make a video on the other channel. So, have you heard about the DDLC ban? No. I thought the Data Live anime had wrapped up. No, that's why you shouldn't trust anyone about news except me. When I used to do news. The funny thing is, I covered the Data Live news years ago, and I said that there was still source material for one more season. Because there's still material for one more season. But a bunch of people on Reddit made up a claim that the studio went bankrupt and that the studio was never going to do another season, that, oh, everything went bust, and did I come late? No, this is actually early stream. I don't normally stream this early. I'm streaming this early because of the situation. Actually, no, you're actually late. Because I just realized you just came to stream. You are late. Because I'm wrapping things up. But it's early for me. It's early for me. It's late in the stream because we've been gone for an hour and a half. But I was covering the Data Live stuff ages ago. And I remember talking about it. And people were just making up fake information on Data Live. And then I was like, why are people getting so angry about it? And then people were just like, oh yeah, because the studio's apparently gone bankrupt and they've merged and they've done this and I've done that. And I'm like, yeah, but there's still enough of a studio to make another season. And they're like, no, it's not profitable. And they're like, there's not enough material. And I'm like, yes, there is. There's enough material. They can make a final season. Why not finish it? And then they're like, oh, but the author said that they're not going to do another one. I'm like, no, the author said, if you want to know what the rest of the story is, go read the light novels. That's all he said. If you want to see the continuation, go to the light novels. And everyone's like, no. He said there's going to be no more. What are your belt currently in karate? Blue belt. I'm blue belt. Actually, I might... Before we wrap up stream, I'll go grab my gi. I don't wear my pajamas, but these are still good pajamas. So, I'm not changing that. My bag. It's in here. I don't know if I look good in it all or not. There we go. It looks dorky sometimes, I feel, in photos and stuff. Where's my belt? There you go. Because whenever you put the belt on, you gotta do it on your knees. And then you've got to do it how I remember. I go left and then over right. There we go. Because it's got to look like a little finger bobbly. There we go. Oh, there you go. Ta-da! What's your favorite move? My favorite move is the part where I kick my friend's ass, which I did that the last time I sparred him. I kicked him in the ass. Like, literally kicked his ass. Like, he did, like, a spin kick, and I just went, like, straight in, and kicked him actually on the tush. But the first time I did it, he didn't feel it, and I said to him, I was like, oh, I kicked you in the ass. He's like, oh, I didn't feel it. And I was like, oh, you didn't feel it? And he's like, oh, did you? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, fine, I'll just do it harder next time. And then the second time, I actually did go properly a bit more through, and he felt it. He's like, oh, yeah, you got me that time. So he tried to stop doing spin kicks. So, but I kept getting him, see? So, there's not the right pants, but they're basically the same. To a degree. They're just my pajama pants, so there you go. That's how it looks. I actually don't look too bad in a video. It's not too bad, actually. So, I think maybe I've grown into it a bit. Maybe I was a little bit too scrawny when I first started karate. So, I don't know. Please don't change when you get a girlfriend. I ain't changing. Fuck that shit. She changed me. Kick her ass. Kick her down a flight of stairs. But yeah. I thought I'd just show it because people are asking, so. You look like a Japanese chef with pajamas and a karate outfit. I know, it looks so good. I mean, the pants are pretty much the same because they're just black pants anyway that we normally wear. So most people wear white gis unless you're the teacher, which his title is Shihan, which means teacher of teacher, and he wears a red gi. And then if you are trained enough, you can have a black gi, which just is like a side grade to the belts that we have. 24 slaps per second. I'm not Jackie Chan. But yeah. It's alright. It's comfortable, to be honest. It is generally quite comfortable because it's very light. Even though it feels big, it feels heavy, but it doesn't. It's very light. It's very crisp and cool in it. Unless you're like actually doing shit in it and then it's like bloody hot as. Will you enter a tournament arc? No. I've been offered to do tournaments. I refuse to do tournaments. I am not doing any form of tournament. I'm not really a fighter. I enjoy it, but I don't know. I like the Carter stuff. I like doing Carter stuff because I'm doing a lot of. I have to do two Carters called Power Carter and Relaxation Carter. So it's like more Power Carter. You gotta go like that, and you gotta hold really strong and firm so someone can like knock your hands together, and you gotta like hold it. So how long have you been practicing karate? It's like 2 years. Just over 2 years now. So yeah. I'm not putting on my jacket while that's on. I'll take it off afterwards. Or maybe I could take it off now. Oh. But yeah. He's too powerful for tournament. They banned me from tournaments because I'm too powerful. But yeah, I'm on 2 weeks holiday now anyway for karate. So, because our classes are generally based on the school holidays, school semesters. But sometimes our teacher will do stuff in the holidays as well. So, generally speaking, I sometimes do stuff in the holidays. But I want to clean up the house during the holidays so that I can actually get this room sorted out. So that way I can get things moving. So I'm going to use the holidays to get stuff done. So, that's just generally how I'm going to do things. So I'm going to utilise these holidays because I've got a skip bin coming around tomorrow. That's going to cost me like $350. I got to get a skip bin and then I got to clean up all the yards and everything. So I don't want to do any moves in here because I know I'm going to break something and I don't want to break anything. So you won't see me do any moves in this room. It was like one frontal kick and that was it. Because I'm like, I ain't breaking shit. I've got figures in here that are worth more than my car. I mean, again, I got all the figures over there temporarily, so I don't want to break them. Knowing my dumb ass, I'd end up breaking them all. Chuck Norris ghost has trained him well. Yeah, I was trained by Chuck Norris's ghost. He drops by every night, gives me a couple of pointers, and yeah. But I mean, I just got that today. That cost me $100. $100 to get this one bloody book because I could not get it anywhere. I had to go to eBay, and I searched in eBay for months because this book was unobtainable. I checked every website. I checked eBay. I checked Amazon. I checked every book website. I asked my own local anime and manga store. I checked everywhere. I even checked Crunchyroll. I could not get this one volume. This one volume is like unobtainable. And then randomly, because every day I'd go on eBay and check if there's any listings. Every day I'd check eBay, and I did it for months. And randomly there was one on there, and I instantly bought it. It was like $100, and I was like, I hate myself, but I needed to get it because it is the final volume that I need. And now I have got all of the volumes, and most of them are coming in the mail. So now I basically have them all. Now I can finally start covering part 2 of the video on Dancing the Vampire Bond. Because I'm OCD about collections. So if I start collecting it, I need to collect all of it. But yeah, I checked everywhere. So the Data Live get an announcement of what a coincidence someone asked about yesterday of Boom, and it got announced. Oh yeah, the reason why they asked about it on screen, it's literally on my screen. It was just on my tab on my other screen. Yeah, it got announced. The reason why they asked about it was because there was an announcement that there was going to be an announcement. That's why they asked about it on stream last night. So I said I would cover it. So after this stream, once we finish the stream, I'm going to go make a video and I'm going to go upload it onto my other channel. I'm going to go and upload it to this channel. Because last night I did a video on Let Me Ride Those Devil Horns, which it says 5 hours ago, but it was more than 5 hours ago, 22 hours ago. I will be covering the Data Live piece of information. So, again, if you want my anime content, there it is. It's over there. Let's see if I can get to 20k. I don't know if I will, but we'll see. I know this feeling. I'm still missing volume 5 of Sekirei because I didn't want to spend $150 and now one is selling a copy. Oh, you mean Sekirei? Oh. 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 You said it. Ugh. This is going to be a pain in the ass, so give me a minute. I better close this because my cat will come in here. And I don't want to trip. This is going to be a pain in the ass. That's my Lynn figure. I'll put her down here. I have them stashed up here for a reason. Oh shit, these are quite... I didn't realize I had these many bloody volumes. Jesus Christ, how many volumes do I have? Holy shit. Oh shit. Oh, bloody hell. If I fall, it was nice knowing you. Oh shit. Oh shit. There we go. You're missing volume 5. Where's volume 5? Yeah, you're missing this volume. Pet your cat after you're done. Yeah, I'm kicking her. I've got all 11 volumes, so yeah. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume... Where's 4? 4? 5? They still got the price tags on them too. 6? 7? 8? 9? And the final, 10. Yeah, I am flexing. Yes, I have all of them. Since Australian, have you ever done Shui? What? What's Shui? But yeah, now I'm going to have to put them all back up there. That's a pain in the ass. Ugh. Oh well. But yeah, I have them all. I kept them up there because they're all sealed and kept in good condition. So they're all perfect. I heard in Australia there is ice cream called Golden Gay Time. Is that true? Yes, that is true. They tried to change the name of it and everyone got angry. Even the gay people got angry. They were like, how dare you change our ice cream? We like the name. We love that name. It's a great name. Everyone likes a good old Golden Gay Time. There's nothing offensive about it. Screw you, YouTube. Shui equals drinking from the chute. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. Yeah, I know some Australians do that. I don't do it. I don't even drink. I actually don't drink. Last time I drank was a very long time ago. Have you seen the other Mother's Basement tweets responding to the drama? No, I'm going to have to look at it. I could look at it now. Let's have a look. It's because his account comes under a different name. It's Jeff. Just gonna have to go with Mother's Basement. Mother's Basement. Because it's hard, because you've got to remember his name comes under something different. Even though he goes under Mother's Basement, it's like Jeff. So you've got to look it under. What happened to your office chair that you were supposed to have a new one? Oh yeah, it's in the other room. I just haven't switched it out yet. I've been lazy. I mean, he's actually been tweeting quite a lot in the last bunch of hours. There's a follow-up. There's a follow-up bunch of tweets to the original tweet that he made. So, if we go back to... Oh, gee, yeah, Mother's Basement's been tweeting a lot about it. I'm just reading through some of it, and yeah, he's going very heavy into that. Your whole cultural crusade is against those powerless contractors is also providing the executive cover to... Yeah, Mother's Basement is very heavily gone, pivoted. It might be something I might need to look into more after stream and dig into and see what his stance is. But yeah. Happy Toka Day. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be covering that video soon. Do you think there is any chance of getting a History Strong Discipline ecchi remake of all Fan service uncut. Don't know. Yeah, I also think you are Jeremy Clarkson. Does your local manga store have much manga, or is it just QBD stores? Mostly it's just QBD now. My local anime and manga store mostly just sells merch now. Because they used to sell manga and DVDs, but a lot of people don't really buy as much DVDs because of Crunchyroll, and a lot of the books, generally people go to online bookstores. Because we generally use Booktopia, because it's an Australian book distributing group. So that's generally where I try to get most of my stuff, which I generally don't. I got most of these on there, but I didn't get all of them. So I had to go to eBay for most of them. So it's generally difficult to get a lot of stuff local. QBD sometimes has stuff in, but QBD is generally very limited as well. What is QBD? It's a bookstore. It's like an Australian bookstore. I agree about Rev said Desu's content. I don't watch his videos because he makes too much. Again, I don't like Assam, but I'm just like, there's a point where I just stop caring about videos if you keep talking about the same like person. But yeah, I love buying anime DVDs where I can. Yeah, same. I like getting physicals over digitals. I mean, duh, you just saw all the Sekirays. And again, to note that, by the way, I just want to point something out. It's still sealed. I haven't unsealed it. It's still in perfect condition. I have not... There's a bit of a... It started to open here, but these are all non-opened. I have not opened them. Yeah, I've read it, but I haven't opened them. So I keep them collectibles. I might open them and read them as a physical thing, but I read them online, so I like to... I'm a collectible type person. I got most of those... I can't remember where... I know I bought some of those from my bookstore because they were getting rid of old stock, but I can't remember where I got the rest of them from. I might have got them from a bookstore online. Keep on sealed? Yeah, I probably will keep them sealed. Just for, I wondered to myself if I ever told people that I have them all sealed, people would be like, oh my god, that's stupid. But it's like, I read them, I just like keeping them sealed. It would turn yellow. Well, oh, yeah. Well, most of my books have not turned yellow because I generally keep the rooms very clean and dust free. But, yeah. But up there, they probably would go yellow because they're basically up on the top of the shelf. So they keep up there. They haven't even got any dust on them actually, so they stay pretty dust free up there. Man, Sony has been cutting back on. Yeah, it's frustrating that they've been cutting back on, and that's the thing. They want to force their Crunchyroll subscription. Do you have any DVDs and Blu-rays as well? Yes, they're just not in this room. They're all in another room, stored. Because I'm trying to clean out the room, and then I'm going to get the different computer desk here, which is in the other room. So I'm going to get my friend to help me move it. And then I put all this on top of it, and then the camera won't be facing that way. It'll be facing that way, which will mean you'll get a direct vision of all the figures. So then I want to get more glass cabinets. I want to move that wood desk, wood shelf over here, get another one here, which I have, and then have everything set up. But I want some proper lighting for my glass figures, because that glass cabinet isn't filled up yet, but I want to put figures in there, more figures, and I want it to light up. So I've been trying to look at ways to get an LED light strip for it. Since you have IT background, do you build your PC yourself? Yes. My PC is right here. It's a bit dusty. That's my PC. Right there. Look at those. Look at those lights. Woo! But yeah. I build my own PCs. It's a bit dusty. It's built up a little bit of dust in the last week because there's like a little side fan here. And it builds up a little bit. I gotta clean it up again. See? Bit of dust. It's because it sucks all the air through the side and then it pushes it around to keep it cool. It's so good on its cooling system. The graphics card fan isn't even on because everything else is so cold in there. So it keeps it very crisp in there. And it's all fans. Fix up the camera for the door entry. Oh yeah, so what I'll do is I'll have everything facing that way, right? So I'll have everything sitting here, I'll be facing that way, and the camera will be going that way. But when I do the door intros, I'll just move the camera and face it that way, probably put it at the edge, do the door intro, and then move it. But I don't want to do the door intro every time. I only want to do it sparingly. Eat the dust, Asmongold would eat it. But yeah, that's generally how everything's going to be set up. So I'll still do the door intros. I just don't do them every video because I don't want it to become overly repetitive now. Because if I do a door intro every single video, which I was kind of starting to do, it starts to lose its fun. So I do it occasionally. I'm not going to do it every time. Have you heard of the Muse Asia Crunchyroll drama? Yes, I covered it last night's stream. Is Asmongold made of dust? Potentially. Or he could be made of a cockroach. Oh, okay. Chibi's made a tweet about Jeff. Chibi made a tweet saying, just found out Jeff is reposting pro-communist clips less than a day ago. That explains everything I need to know about him. He probably also is mad I called out his daddy Crunchyroll since he is also their payroll judge for anime awards. Yes, I would agree with that. Because, again, Mother's Basement has been somewhat more critical towards Crunchyroll only because he's had to, because his community's turned against him and forced him to. But, I mean, that could be just satire as well, so I don't know. That could be satirical, but Jeff has always been very political, so on the far left, so yeah. But it's interesting. Yes, as a sentient cockroach. Yeah, he is a sentient cockroach. Why are so many people going to religion? I think some are doing it because they're soul searching for themselves. I think some are doing it because it's popular now. I think some are doing it as a grift. I generally do think some people are jumping on religion as a grift. But yeah. But yeah, that I'll call that for the stream for the time being. I'm going to get some food, going to get a drink. I'm going to go over some stuff, and then I'm going to go over the Data Live news as well. So I want to make sure I cover that bit of information on the other channel. So thank you all for dropping by. Again, much appreciated it. I know we kind of went on a big tandem, went over a multitude of things, but kind of wanted to let that be that and then move on to next stuff. But I have a feeling either Rev's going to cover it up and not talk about it and hope everything goes quiet, or things will blow up even more, and at that point I'll be covering it more. But I have a feeling there'll be other content creators that will cover it. Oh yeah, I have to go, but I apologize if I miss. That's all right. So yeah, thank you again dropping by the stream. Again, no hate on anyone, just want to be very clear before I end it. Make your own decisions, do your own research,